Transforming the audience into citizen. As an artist, I locate the political in the consequences of my work. While it is difficult to control or completely preview the consequences that an action has, it is in the consequences where the ephemeral and the transitional condition of the political is established and documented. It is in the consequences where the political metaphor is generated. As an artist working politically, I try to appropriate the tools and mechanisms of power. I do not want the work to represent the political, but to create the political. Sometimes I recreate a situation under clear conditions of observation to generate a different use and political implication of memory. One where the impersonal is owned through a direct experience. One where art evaluates the political response to an image. I'm interested in working with citizens, not with audience. In this case, I asked the Monte Police to use all their training for crowd control with the visitors of the museum. Sometimes I work with methods used by a state organization and government organizations, not so much to reveal their contradictions, but to force them to actually do what they want us to believe they are doing. In this case, the work consists in using ex-KGB agents to lead trust workshops with the citizens of Moscow. Sometimes political work is hard to visualize, and sometimes it is even an ethical problem to generate a visual product from a political work. There are times when I think that artists working on politics are using more a strategy of propaganda instead of a strategy of politics. In my case, I'm not interested in focusing on an image, but on the politics created in the process of experiencing the work. For me, aesthetics is a process of convincing others about our idea of the rightness of something. Political aesthetic is a process that is not permanent, that has no predetermined form, and that needs to adapt for efficiency. In this case, of course, in the case of this image, we are not seeing the documentation of the trust workshop. There is no such image of this piece. For this event, instead, I did an event in Moscow announcing that those workshops were going to be taking place. In this room, you could choose to be taking a photo with an eagle or monkeys, or both. And when the person gives you the photo, like a minute or so after when it's printed, you realize that in the photo you're not only having this great experience, but Felix Dzerzhinsky, sorry my pronunciation, which is the creator of the KGB, is actually incorporated to the memories of your exciting experience with the animals. But sometimes political artists have to carry the unpleasant burden of the unwanted possible future. In this piece, a veteran from the recent war from Iraq, Afghanistan, and so on, is working as a security guard, and he requests with respect to some random visitor he chooses to follow him. When entering an electrical closet room with images from previous wars and lynchings, this African-American guard asks to the mostly white visitors, why does he or she think some people want to see the death of President Obama? That was done a week after the election. To be a political artist is not exactly about trying to please people. It is to deal with issues when and where they are not yet resolved. It is to enter the undefined spaces of society. That of fear, if we see it from the citizen point of view. That of illegality, if we see it from the power point of view. The insertion into the areas of the illegal is the insertion into either the non-regulated social spaces or the actual spaces from which the future can be redefined. In this case, I organized a conference and invited 4 participants of the Colombian conflict, a paramilitary inactive, a leader of Los Desplazados movement, the sister of a kidnapped person, a soldier from FARC who was dismissed for suspicion of treason. And while they were talking about the political construction of the figure of a hero and his possible existence in Colombia at this moment, a person was passing by the audience with a tray with cocaine that could be consumed. In many cases, my work is a presentation of the negotiation between ethics and desire. But it is also about the politics in the art world. When I show or I sell my performances, in the contract it's very clear that the visitor not only have the right to generate documentation of the work, but that they have the right to sell it for their own personal profit. So it is also about sharing the economical control of the work with the audience. Part of the transformation of the audience back into citizen is their liberation in terms of behavior expectation. Lately, I have been just staging the elements, and the works is complete and sometimes done by the citizen encountering the work. The work is the reactions it creates around the specific issues. In this case, it is about the freedom of speech. A stage, a podium, microphones, one louder speaker inside, one outside the building, 2 persons dressed in military outfit, a white dove, remembering Fidel Castro's first speech. 1 minute free of censorship per speaker, 200 disposable cameras with flash. Of course, this happened in Cuba. If it was here, it would have made no sense. I can probably say that in one of the pieces, in all of the pieces we have seen today, nobody has been hurt or nobody had any political or physical consequences. It was my job as an artist working politically to secure that things were done in such a symbolic as well as practical way that the people in power, in the institution or the governments, were politically immobilized. Self-sabotage is self-sabotage is a concept I'm using in terms of how to deal with political art. I think artists have to self-sabotage themselves, not pleasing people, and actually go against their own success. As a political artist, I'm interested in trying to generate something that could be seen as new and challenging in the art world as well as in the political world. A kind of art where one could say that the political was used to do art, but also that the artistic was used to do, one could say that the political was used to do art, but also that the artistic was used to do the political.